We stopped at what is food the first time I read. And I said you should read the meaning of food and how it relates to fertility. I hope you did. I'm coming back to read from What is Food, as written by Dr. Noha into this book, Female Diary. Because many of us never related food to fertility. Even I am knowing it for the first time when I read his own contribution into this book. What is food? He defines food as a nutritious substance that living organisms ingest for maintenance of life and growth. I ask, what is nutrient? Nutrient is a substance ingested by an organism also in order to survive, grow, and reproduce. In my understanding, I divide food into calories and nutrients, rather, where calories are the energy-giving component and the nutrients are the substances used for growth. Reproduction, repairs of tissue damage, replacement of dead tissues, and prevention of and recovery from diseases. A balanced diet, therefore, is a meal that contains adequate amounts of calories and nutrients. Unfortunately, the foods that contain good amounts of calories are poor in nutrients and vice versa. And calories containing foods tend to be sweet, but nutrients are tasteless, sour, or bitter, except carrots. Calories are either carbohydrates or fats, but our body prefers using glucose from carbohydrates as its primary energy source. Glucose, however, can be injurious to the body if it exceeds the normal requirements in the body. That is why the body quickly converts it to fats. Apart from type 2 diabetes mellitus, or maybe mellitus, depending on who is reading it, eating food that produce high levels of glucose in our body, that is food with high glycemic index, promote other diseases like infertility, cancer, chronic inflammation, aging, poor immune function, etc. Therefore, the body is naturally efficient in removing glucose from the body, converting it to glycogen or fat, and storing them in the various parts of the body. Eating predominantly high glucose generating meals will eventually lead to insulin resistance, which means that more molecules of insulin are needed to do the same work on glucose that fewer molecules were doing before. Insulin resistance is therefore a condition in which you have excess amount of insulin in the body. We know that insulin resistance leads to overweight and obesity. And the more weight we gain, the more insulin resistance we have. And it's more difficult to lose such weight. So it becomes a vicious cycle. Then polycystic ovarian syndrome is another cause of insulin resistance. Also, poor exercise is known to aggravate insulin resistance. A person with insulin resistance has a more higher insulin levels, as I have mentioned earlier. And numerous studies have found that low insulin levels improves a woman's fertility, increasing her chance of becoming pregnant naturally. And it also lowers her risk of miscarriage. Wow, I'm just knowing this. Now, what are foods that produce glucose? All cooked foods. Fruits give both glucose and fructose. Packaged foods like meat, pies, bread, cakes, shawarma, soft drinks, and so-called fruit juice, etc. Cooked food is one of the major sources of glucose in the body. For instance, most diabetic patients no longer take sugar nor take soft drinks, and some of them avoid carbohydrates, but they still have high sugar levels, which need medications to normalize. So, where then is the sugar coming from? Calories are resistant to cooking, but most nutrients are destroyed by cooking. Because sometimes I see some diabetic patients that avoid sugar as much as possible. Most of us, we don't. Sometimes I, even myself, I may not take sugar, but I notice that checking my sugar in the morning is a bit high, and I didn't eat sugar, anything that had sugar the previous day, which means the cooked food is responsible for the sugar. Where, what are the sources of nutrients? Nutrients are mostly obtained from raw vegetables, and they are of different colors according to the type of nutrient. When you cook vegetables, the calories fade because the nutrients have been destroyed by the cooking. So what is remaining are poor in nutrients. Let me give examples of these nutrients. Plant protein, plant oils like omega-3, and phospholipids, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, antioxidants, anti-sugar agents, and anti-inflammatory agents. Most of these are destroyed by cooking. So you can imagine how malnourished we are eating cooked foods all the time without also consuming raw vegetables whole and form of juice daily. Many organs with a high rate of cell turnover, like the reproductive and the immune systems, are often impacted the most. Therefore, we see an increasing number of couples being afflicted with infertility in our society. The solution is not just in prescribing pharmaceutical drugs, as we can see now. So lifestyle, eating style also matters. Eating raw vegetables whole as salad cannot give us the required nourishment because we don't chew vegetables thoroughly enough before swallowing them. Secondly, our gut cannot digest and extract nutrients from the cellulose and fibers, which tend to hold on to nutrients. While we need the fibers for cleansing, we can use technology, that is juice extractor, to extract the nutrients in the vegetables and most of the nutrients in the fibers as well. Note that juice is to be taken on empty stomach, 1 glass full per hour. If you are not sick, you need about 4 glasses of vegetable juice daily. You may start from 7 a.m. to 10. Then you take your breakfast 30 minutes later, because by then the juice should have all been absorbed. If you already have the challenge of infertility, you need up to 8 or 10 glasses of vegetable juice daily. Again, if you want to drink juice after eating, you should delay it for 2 to 3 hours for the stomach to be empty. Please do not drink fruit juice, because it will raise your blood sugar level and take us back to where we are coming from. The principle of juicing is to combine crunchy vegetables like carrot, cucumber, and beetroot with greeny leafy vegetables that are edible, and you can store in the freezer for not more than 2 days. Your vegetable salad should include leafy vegetables, tomatoes, onions, beetroots, carrots, and cucumber. Do not contaminate with creams. You may add avocado peel or 1 or 2 spoons of olive oil. Intermittent fast will also help in increasing your chance of achieving conception. I recommend a 48-hour fast every week. Don't forget spices like turmeric, cloves, ginger, and garlic, but avoid cinnamon if you are trying to get pregnant. You should also avoid moringa if you are also looking for conception. Note that while ginger is useful for preventing the excessive nausea and vomiting associated with early pregnancy, too much of it can actually induce strong uterine contractions that can lead to what? Abortion. Also avoid alcoholic drinks, coffee, and other stimulants. Another important factor is the timing of your eating. Every day has 8 hours window for eating, and the remaining 16 hours for assimilation and detoxification of the body. Digestion takes place within the window hours allotted for eating. Early breakfast cuts into the time the body should still be cleansing itself. Breakfast should be between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. Lunch between 1 and 2, and dinner between 4 and 6. You should be drinking your vegetable juice from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. and 30 minutes after that, you may take your breakfast. Much of what is in the juice does not need digestion before absorption. The emphasis, 4 cups of juice daily, is enough for most people trying to prevent diseases. For those trying to reverse diseases, need more cups of juice to be inserted in between meals, that is, 2 hours after food or 30 minutes before food, to make a total of 8 to 10 glasses per day. Once you eat anything that contains fiber before 10 a.m., the body switches from detox mode to digestive mode, and cleansing stops all till night to resume again. These timings are ideal for healthy eating, and you should try it for 3 months before you can judge it. This is quite educative. Eating healthy diet, even in a healthy way, yield positive results with physical exercise, including conception. You need aerobic exercise like dancing, brisk walk, or swimming for between 30 minutes to 1 hour daily, 4 to 6 days a week. Exercise opens up more blood vessels and makes the heart pump more blood to all parts of the body, ensuring adequate distribution of all the good nutrients we have been ingesting to all organ systems in the body. The scripture says the life of the flesh is in the blood. In conclusion, a balanced diet is food that contains adequate amounts of calories and all other nutrients, and therefore enables us, when we add adequate amount of exercise, to be strong, grow, reproduce healthy children, age gracefully without chronic diseases, prevent diseases, and easily recover from illnesses. Anything that increases your blood sugar level will in the long run reduce your chances of conception. So reduce intake of carbohydrates. Increase your intake of vegetable juice, raw vegetable salad, and spices. You know that exercise also helps to reduce the blood sugar levels. Also, intermittent fasting does same, with the added average of lowering insulin levels and increasing insulin sensitivity. Make sure you eat raw vegetable salad immediately before you eat cooked food. Remember also to rest from work daily and periodically, and stop worrying about what is not changing after you have done all you can do. And in that stillness, your change will come. What an interesting reading. The book is available and it's not so expensive. If you want it, dial the number 0802 7988 769. Thank you.